Hi everybody, this is Laura Beth and I just wanted to welcome you to RLG198 before our first meeting on Wednesday at 11 and to just ask you to do a few things for me before then. First of all, if you haven't gone to the forms that I've asked you to fill out, which are tell me a little bit about yourself and how comfortable you feel with online learning, that was one of them. The other was to let me know which big questions you think we should be talking about this semester. Most of you all have filled out both of those forms, but if you haven't, you'll find both of those in the Start Here link on the course website. So the other thing I'd like you to do before we meet on Wednesday is to look over the course syllabus. We'll be talking about the course syllabus and the requirements on Wednesday, but it will help if you've actually had a chance to look at that before we meet and go over it together. Now, some of you have asked me, do I need to have read the book before we start the semester? And the answer is no. Some people have read The Handmaid's Tale from cover to cover before we start the class. Some people have never read the first chapter. So we're going to be reading it together, as you'll see on the syllabus, in small chunks so that we can discuss it as we go along. The other thing I want you to do before Wednesday is to look in the course, what I've set up on the course website for the Zoom requirements and our Zoom etiquette. So this will tell you how to get onto Zoom. For those of you who may not be as familiar with using Zoom, maybe you haven't used it before, you don't feel comfortable with it, you can download it and play with it and make sure that you have everything set up the way you want to before we meet on Wednesday. Now, you can do what I have done here behind me. Obviously, I wish I were at the beach, but I'm not. You can set up a virtual background for people, for anyone who may just want to have a bit of fun. You can make it anything you'd like. Maybe you don't want people to see your, dirty clothes in your room, whatever it is, you can put a virtual background up. The other thing you can do is to change your name so that it reflects the name that you want to be called. So if you could do that before we meet, that would also be good. I know that some people may feel uncomfortable having their face, live on screen, and that's fine. But for the most part, as far as you feel comfortable, I would prefer that everyone actually be present and live on screen if they can, because that helps us to get the most out of this virtual experience that we're going to have together. And if you can also read the Zoom etiquette. So a lot of people are unsure about how to do a Zoom class, and really we're going to be figuring out a lot of this as we go along, but it will just give you some basic guidelines, things like, when you want to speak, you can raise your hand, what to say when you're finished so that we all know you're finished. So read over those Zoom etiquette guidelines as well. So when you're finished with that, the only other thing that you need to do this week before we meet is to do the pre-class exercise. So every week I'll give you a pre-class exercise. This week's will give you a little insight into dystopia and utopia. And I've given you 2 reflection questions as part of this pre-class exercise. So I want you to think about those reflection questions, and we're going to use your answers to those during our meeting on Wednesday, and use those as jumping off points for doing some fun in-class exercises. So for those of you who indicated that maybe you feel uncomfortable in an online space or you're a little shy about speaking up, having these reflection questions and your answers prepared for them might help you to feel a little more comfortable when we're sharing together in the online space. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you've got any questions. You can reach me at my email, which is on the course website, or through the course website as well. I look forward to meeting all of you on Wednesday, and I think we're going to have a great semester. Take care.